Hi, welcome to this AFC Championship game preview with StarbusFootballInc.com. I'm Alex Haycock, and like I said, previewing the New York Jets at the Pittsburgh Steelers, a Sunday evening matchup. It's my little dog Leonidas. You might have just heard him. But we're excited to bring this game to you. And quite frankly, I think Bart Scott summed it up after the Jets beat New England last week. We just can't wait for this game. It's going to be a good one, I think. You got similar teams, balanced offenses, not too flashy, and then you also have two pretty stout defenses between the Jets and the Steelers. A couple things to watch. We got the Pittsburgh offensive line that's been a little banged up this year. They're pretty banged up for the better part of the second half of the season, but they're holding it together. But the thing to watch here, we got the Jets defense. Rex Ryan, love him or hate him, he's a pretty good football mind, and he'll mix up the blitzes, drop 8 into coverage every now and then. You just never know what you're going to see. A lot of times you think he's going to blitz, and he ends up going coverage. Thing is, if the Jets can't get a pass rush and the Pittsburgh O-line can't really hold, you never know what happens as soon as you get Ben Roethlisberger out of the pocket. He can make plays, and his receivers just have a knack for getting open when he has to scramble. So that's something to keep your eye on. Again, given that and given Big Ben's size, expect some, dropping 8 into coverage and only rushing 3 from the Jets. As far as Pittsburgh receivers go, you got Mike Wallace, who's just a speedster. Many believe he's one of the fastest receivers in the NFL. And you got Hines Ward. You also have Heath Miller, who hasn't been used a whole lot this year, but he can be effective at times. You got Revis Island over there at one corner, and Antonio Cromartie, who's been picked on a lot, but he's been an effective pass defender this season. So we'll see if Pittsburgh's receivers have any trouble getting open against a tough pass defense from the Jets. On the flip side of the ball, you got Mark Sanchez at quarterback. Far from a superstar, but he's been managing games and winning football games for the Jets. You don't beat the New England Patriots with a subpar performance from your quarterback. So he hasn't been given a ton of credit for their success, but he deserves some of it. But so you got Sanchez against a pass rush. Obviously, the Steelers are going to be without Aaron Smith at defensive end. But beyond that, they've just got a ton of studs. James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, James Ferrier. And then also, you never know when Troy Polamalu is going to come creeping up on a safety blitz. So that's something to keep an eye on. I think the edge there between the Pittsburgh defense against the Jets offense, got to give it to Pittsburgh. And we'll see if Sanchez's relative inexperience comes into play at all. Another thing I think that'll be interesting is just kind of see its effect on the game. Mike Tomlin, a young head coach, but he and the Steelers won a Super Bowl a few years ago. They're battle tested, and they've been in the AFC Championship game and won, and gone on to the Super Bowl and won. A lot of those guys are here. Ben Roethlisberger's won two Super Bowl titles. One more than excuse me. One more than Peyton Manning ever, that he had. So Roethlisberger doesn't get a ton of credit as an elite quarterback, but the guy's a winner, and the Steelers franchise has been there before recently. Sure, the Jets played in the AFC Championship game last year. They've won some playoff games, both last year and this season. But again, it's that experience of being there and winning the big one that I think just be interesting to see how that plays out in the game. My prediction for the game, I got to go with Pittsburgh. I know there's a lot of Jets fans out there who'll be angry. They're on a hot streak. But Pittsburgh, the experience, playing at home, and also, they had that first-round bye, so they haven't had to play, as many games in a row here. So I'm going with Pittsburgh. I like a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 20-13. Pittsburgh wins and advances to the Super Bowl.